Welcome to Colorado Inside Out Postgame, a special web-exclusive production here on Channel 12. Let's get a quick take on the gubernatorial race. Incumbent John Hickenlooper and challenger Beauprez debated this week. It's been quite the campaign. Patty Cahoon from Westward, it's been fun to watch. What did you make of what we saw this week?
Well, I watched the debate that was up at CSU, and it was interesting. Beauprez has clearly been coached. He's a much better candidate on the stump than he was in 2006, but he hasn't done a whole lot that would make him a better governor than he had done in 2006. If I were the people doing the negative ads, pushing Hickenlooper, because as you know, he's not doing negative ads, I would be all over that IUD comment, which Beauprez has not explained well. Any medical doctor will tell you what he had said was wrong, and make sure that women get out to vote, because they're going to make a difference. Hickenlooper hurt himself this week with when he was pushed in the corner and he said the vote for pot was reckless. In context, you understand what he was talking about, but there could be just enough people who decide they're not going to vote for him, and if they're not voting for Hickenlooper, even if they don't vote for Beauprez, it'll be the equivalent, and they'll go for Donovan or your pal Harry Hempy or the Libertarian candidate, and that'll hurt.
Craig Silverman from Silverman Olivas and a talk show host at KNUS. The campaign so far has seemed, maybe it's changed a little bit this week, but Beauprez was just kind of waiting for John Hickenlooper to screw up a little bit more. Just let him kind of dangle in the wind and see if that'll work. Has Beauprez gone enough on the offensive to really seal the deal?
It's a very close race, and there were a series of unforced errors. Patty referenced the reckless comment of John Hickenlooper. Wow, I think that cost him a lot of votes. Last time I looked, Amendment 64 passed with 55%. So if that's a big issue, and if you're in the industry, that is a big issue, you're probably thinking about not voting for Hickenlooper and voting for Mike Donovan or somebody else. Bob had an unforced error when he started talking about IUDs. He tried to clean that up last night at CSU. He said, I'm not going to interfere with anybody's right to an IUD. And John Hickenlooper, who actually put on a tie last night, he said, it's risky, I didn't mean reckless, sorry about that. John Hickenlooper got pinned down last night by Brandon Rittiman on capital punishment. And Brandon Rittiman said, will you commit to no lame duck clemency, the kind of thing you discussed with CNN that they never aired, but we have the sound. And John Hickenlooper allowed himself to be pinned down. He said, okay, I promise, I commit, I'll leave it to the next governor. Very bad news for Nathan Dunlap and death penalty abolitionists everywhere.
Eric Sonderman, political analyst. We've seen quite a bit around this table. With all the pinning down discussions, obviously Hickenlooper's not going to get a job as a wrestling coach. But what do you think of the campaign so far and how it's looked on both sides?
I think the best debate we could have would be just John Hickenlooper debating John Hickenlooper. You know, maybe one of them could wear a tie and one of them would just be in shirt sleeves, and they could go at it, because some of the most entertaining parts of these debates have been Hickenlooper wrestling out loud with his own thoughts. Do I get backed into this corner? Do I not get backed into this corner? Do I say reckless or do I not say reckless? It strikes me that the Beauprez strategy is somewhat akin just to sort of standing by the side of the road, trying to avoid mistakes. Yes, he certainly, as Patty pointed out, wandered into one earlier this week or a week ago, but basically trying to do as little as possible and see if John Hickenlooper has beat himself or can beat himself. I am dubious that by itself, you know, yes, Hickenlooper has certainly plummeted in terms of approval ratings. You know, he's no longer anywhere near those stratospheric highs that he enjoyed as mayor and in his early days as governor. But I don't know that he has yet made himself unelectable, and it strikes me that the Beauprez premise is just to see if Hickenlooper's unelectable and he can be the one standing by the side of the train tracks when there's a derailment. I don't think that's enough.
I agree with you, Eric, because it almost seems like Beauprez thinks he's running against Bill Ritter after Bill Ritter's first term. Because Bill Ritter he's a great guy, but effectively ticked off people on both sides. He was very good at that. That could have been something maybe you could wait for the train to derail and whatever else. Hickenlooper has come down, just like you said, but it was, like you said, stratospheric. So even if that comes down considerably, he's still an incumbent. We'll have to wait and see. Alicia Caldo from the editorial page at Denver Post, wrap it up for us.
Well, I would agree that Bob Beauprez is a much better candidate this time around than last time. But the more I watch him, the more that I see that he seems to be basing politics and stump speeches on anecdotes. A teacher told me this, or a doctor told me that, and that's not really the way I think that most Coloradans would like to see public policy formed. In addition, there were those weird and confusing comments on the death penalty, in which he seemed to suggest that Archbishop Chaput gave him leave to be in favor of the death penalty, and I'd really like to see some follow-up on that myself. That doesn't strike me as really ringing true. I think the brighter the light that shines on Bob Beauprez, the more trouble, frankly, he's going to have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the indulgences part of that was a purchase you can make a long time before Archbishop Chaput was in town, so it makes sense. Well, that's all the time we have for Colorado Inside Out postgame this week. Leave us a comment and tell us what you think. For everyone here at CPT12.org, I'm Dominic Dezzutti. Thanks for watching.